Hey, welcome back to Rust Order Garage. Still working on the 51 Hudson today. It's only the third day actually getting to work on it. But where we left off, engine and transmission were removed, front suspension, steering column, front brakes, everything all gone. Pretty much just stripped down to the front frame rails. So plans are to put a Jaguar front suspension in this. And the only other way I can do that is if the front frame rails are straight. And of course, they're not straight. They never are. So this is what we're working with. So this is what I'm working with. It's a unibody car, but it has these large frame rails welded in. And as expected, they're not straight. You have to have the big pockets there for the front springs, front shocks. So I need these to be straight. Basically, straight line from back there before the curve, straight across out to here. Ideally, for the Jag, 32 inches wide is perfect without any kind of modifications. This is around 33.5. It's a little bit wider. At least that's what I think it's going to end up at. And so then I just have to make a little bit of a notch on each side on the Jag. Not a big deal. Just adds a little bit to it. So we have these. First thing I got to do is get rid of these jean looking covers here that were for the A-arm openings. They look like they're made out of jeans, but they are, stapled in, so could be factory. I don't know. That's pretty rough. Looks like they're made out of somebody's old pair of jeans. Did I say that yet? Anyway, I'm gonna grind the staples off and get those removed, and then I think I'm gonna attack this from the outside in. First, I have to blow the rivets out and get that center section out of between the rails, and then I think I'm going to cut the outside first, and I will leave the inside section here for support while I'm doing that. I've done this a few times, not on Hudsons, but on other cars. And the first one I did, I welded in cross braces and stuff because I was concerned about things moving around, and I found that nothing really moved. Hopefully this is the same way. I don't think I need any extra bracing. There's a brace across the front down here that's supporting the rails side to side, and we have, of course, the monster transmission cross member there holding things side to side. So as long as you don't just cut the whole thing out of there, nothing really should move. At least that's how I'm going to play it. And we're also going to play a game in the garage today. I don't wear white. Anything I wear that's white is dirty as soon as I put it on. It just doesn't matter. So, what are we going to do today? Look, I got a white shirt on. It says, I love Aruba. Yeah, got that in Aruba. Well, it was a junk shirt. It was a freebie. Well, going to see what it looks like at the end of the day after working on this frame, which is going to be a pretty dirty day, at least I think it will be. I'm real curious to see what's left of this shirt at the end of the day. Should be fun. All right, I don't know how much of this is going to end up showing on video or not, but basically I'm just going to be cutting away the outer curve on this frame and cutting away some of this center spring mount area to try to separate that, so I can change this to a straight line. All right, let's see what happens. Whew. Mouse nest in the frame. Gonna have to blow that out. So I made a cut on the frame, and there's a mouse nest in there, and it caught fire instantly. you can see that, but there's a lot of embers in there. I don't know if it's all out or not, but probably not. We'll just deal with it. I'm just making some rough cuts. Probably not the final cuts, but I want to get this curve out of here, at least to get started, and the center section as well. See what we can do here. Probably have to take it out in pieces. Alright, so starting off, I just blew off the heads of the rivets, and I'm knocking the rivets out. See, that one's out, that one's out. That rivet is there. That one I still have to find. I think I can see it better on the picture there. Yeah, it's there. And I'm knocking them out with my rivet buster, which is nothing more than I think this is a 4th gen Camaro torque arm bolt. Goes through the rear axle and to the torque arm. And I have a bunch of them because I used to deal with those cars, and I just grind down the end to punch rivets. Whack it with a hammer, out they go. Alright, they're all out. I'm going to raise the car up and blow the rivets out that are from the bottom and do the same thing, and I'm going to finish cutting that outer section of frame off. Alright, we did the other side, and you don't need a plasma to do this kind of work. Plasma makes things faster, but you can do this with a cutoff wheel and a grinder. It works just as well. So I'll do it this side with the cutoff wheel, at least for a couple of the rivets, just to show you how it goes. I'm going to blow the heads off of those with the cutoff wheel. Alright, so you just take the heads off, and then with your tool of choice, so with the heads cut off, take your tool of choice. Got my rivet buster and a big effing hammer, and got to find out where the rivet is. Just give it a shot, and you should start seeing the outline of where it is, and it's right there. Start whacking it. And out she goes. This comes in handy. I did a lot of older Ford pickups, so you got to remove the spring hangers that are all riveted. This works good. I can see the outline here. This one's right here. And out she goes. So no need for a plasma cutter. If you don't have one, you can do all this stuff with a cutoff wheel. All right, here's a look at the underside. I've got rivet here, and looks like there's some plug welds. So I'll probably just cut this brace inside here just to try to separate some stuff, but we'll see how it comes apart. I'm not going to go crazy since you're not saving anything, but I also don't want to cut too much too fast. Right now, all I want to do is get rid of this outside section of the frame and not touch anything on the inside rail. Leave that for support. Spot in the corner. Shirt's getting dirty. So this hat was welded on the inside around where those rivets were as well. I just ground those out and it basically broke loose. So top half of the spring section. So we're getting there. Now, this little piece out of here of a weld so I don't cut myself too badly. All right, so next section, I just got to get these little sections out here. I didn't take the rivets out of the bottom yet. And there's a plug weld as well. So we'll see. I think I'm just gonna cut this straight across the bottom. This bracket actually runs to the inside where that plug weld is. I don't think there's any need to get that out of there. All this junk in here. I think I just cut this a little bit straight across and then trim off. All right, so that is first section of frame removed. You got all kind of nuts and junk in here from, yeah, mouse nest. So I am going to get a shop vac and clean all that out. So that's gone. Just grinded the edges, put a little bit of a bevel on them so we can fill this in with a flat piece. I did it so that's actually a pretty good straight line across there. If I put a straight edge across it, you can see what I'm talking about. This is what I'm gonna end up with. Straight line from one side to the other. And then after that's all done, move to the inside and cut that away. I'm gonna do this one side at a time, just to keep as much structural integrity as I can. I'm not gonna cut that side apart until after this side is at least got the outside done. And once the outside is in and boxed, it'll be strong enough that I can go ahead on the other side and cut away the outside section and then do that. And then once both of the outside sections are done, I'll cut away the inside. Because then it'll basically be a C-channel frame, just not boxed. And that's plenty strong to play with to get the jag where I want it, and then figure out boxing the inside. So this is what I have for steel to replace those outer sections I cut away. This is the gift that keeps on giving. This is a section of the trailer that I used for the truck arm suspension for the old Buick. It's up there right now. And I'm going to cut some sections out of that. It's the perfect width. It's actually a little bit wide. I can cut that down, but the height is perfect. And even though it has surface thrust, that's all it has is surface thrust. And it's actually pretty beefy material. It's an 1/8 thick. It may even be a little bit heavier than what the frame is. Frames are not made out of real heavy steel. 1/8 inch thick is pretty much the max I've seen. They get their strength on the height, and you know, it's a C-channel, and if you box it, it's even stronger. But the actual thickness of the metal on the stuff I've been working on for quite a while is not that heavy. So let me cut some sections out of this, and we'll continue on. This is what I've got for the first piece. The trailer frame's all cut up. Cut a section here. That'll weld in just like that. And that'll get me my straight shot. So that'll be the whole C channel for the outside. Everything's beveled and cleaned up so I can weld it. And I'll get that tacked in with the little MIG, and then I'll go get the bigger machine and burn it in. A 110 machine can do this, but I feel safer using a 220 machine when welding frames. All right, got a few tack welds in there. That'll work just fine. See, we're nice and got a nice straight frame rail. That's good. We're straight this way as well, which is good. And it looks good. And we'll just burn the snot out of that. And then do the same thing on the other side. And then I'll come back after both outside rails are done, and we'll move to the inside. So this is going to be a short day today on this because I've got some other things going on. But I will come back and we'll do the next part when both of the outside rails are done and we do the inside rails. And at that point, we should be able to mock up the Jag. Maybe even before the inside rails are done. I'll see how it works out. All right, thanks for watching. We keep pushing forward on this, and I will get back to the Buick soon.